Folks, we got a real treat today. If you follow this news outlet, you know that for months, years really, we've been covering the issue of excessive judicial leniency in South Carolina. Judges who let violent criminals go with little more than a slap on the wrist, re-victimizing victims, and endangering the safety of the public with tragic consequences all across the Palmetto State. Today, we are fortunate to be joined by Representative Joe White, who has made this issue one of his top priorities as a newly elected member of the South Carolina House of Representatives. Representative White has a ton of information on this issue. He's going to share that with us. And we're also going to try to get him to talk a little bit about some of the drama that went down at the South Carolina State House earlier this week within the Republican Party. Representative White's had a front row seat to that. We might be able to get you to share a little bit of that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Representative, thank you so much for...
Thank you, Will. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your people.
Yes, sir. But, tell us a little bit about what you've seen since taking office, and was it what you expected? Is it worse than you expected? Give us a little background.
That's a leading question. I had no real expectation, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'd never been in politics before in my life. Never run for office before in my life. So I didn't know what to expect. To me, it was just kind of a new, fun experience to be down there at the State House. When I ran for this, all I knew was the salary was $10,400 a year. I didn't know you had an office. I didn't know you had a parking space. I didn't know you got state health insurance. I didn't know anything. Yeah. All I thought was, I'm going to get paid big bucks, $10,400 a year. And so for me to find out along the way, well, there's also this, and there's also this, and there's also this. I mean, to me, it's like a kid at Christmas.
Sure.
Open up a new gift every day. Mm-hmm. And yes,
we haven't even gotten to all the parties you get invited to.
And, and I was in 3 Christmas parades. The thing that shocked me the most was how many different people and organizations will call you and ask you to come somewhere and either speak or be in something. And, I didn't think the time commitment, I mean, my December was shot because I had to go everywhere every day to just, I'm the representative. So anyway, then December the 6th, we had our first official meeting, organizational meeting, where we elect the speaker and the speaker pro tem and all the officers of the State House. And that day we did have our first Republican caucus meeting. And so there were things that went on there that were surprising to me.
Okay.
And really not at liberty to talk about those things, except just to say that I was surprised at that first meeting. Some of the things that went on. That's all I can say about that. So,
Fair enough. I know that those meetings are confidential.
Right.
And in fact, we had a conversation with one of your colleagues in the House, Adam Morgan.
Okay.
Who declined to discuss a more recent meeting that was held at the Palmetto Club here in Columbia, South Carolina, regarding the dispute within the caucus. Anything you can tell us generically about that dispute? It seems like there are some conservative members who in the past have raised issues publicly that may have embarrassed some of the more moderate Republican members, and they're tired of being embarrassed and are trying to muzzle some of you guys. Is that about it?
I've read your news accounts and other newspapers' accounts of what has been going on behind closed doors. And I can say that most of what I read is fairly accurate. Mm-hmm. But there are some things that are being said that are totally inaccurate.
Okay.
Both in your publication as well as other publications. The more you look at social media, you see an awful lot of inaccuracies about what has gone on. Let me just say this, and maybe we can get on to the subject of crime, law enforcement, and judicial, but...
We'll get you off the hot seat in just a sec.
So, I'm a solid faith person. Have been all my life. Well, not all my life. From the time I was 9 years old. There's a story in the Bible in Genesis about Jacob and Esau. And all my life, I lived by the principles of that story. Jacob was a smart guy and a conniving guy. And he took advantage of Esau's hunger pains. And Esau ended up selling his soul for a bowl of soup. Joe White is never going to sell his soul for a bowl of soup. And I said when I was campaigning, you can't buy me, you can't bribe me, and you can't seduce me. Look, I'm a 77-year-old man. For the first time in my life, I ran for a public office at age 76. I wasn't originally from Newberry County, so I heard he ain't from here. Mm-hmm. I heard that I was not a Republican, even though I've been a Republican since Barry Goldwater.
Oh, wow.
Nobody I ran against even knew who Barry Goldwater was. I was told all kinds of things during the campaign about who I am. All I can tell you is who I am is I'm a person that once I commit to something, if I tell you I will do something, I will do it. If I tell you that I will sign something, I'll abide by it. If I tell you I won't sign something, I won't abide by it. God gave us 3 unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you try to take any of those away from me, I'm willing to die for them. When I held up my hand, went in the Air Force, pledged to uphold the Constitution of the United States, I meant it. I'm willing to die for my freedom. And that one of those freedoms is that First Amendment, right to free speech. So anything that keeps me from being able to express myself freely, I will not be for. And so I continue to hope, I continue to pray that this thing does get resolved. Mm-hmm. And I hope and pray that at some point, everybody will understand everything that has gone on. But at this point, I think it's still a pretty difficult subject. I'm sorry that I can't say a whole lot about it, but I think I made myself clear that I believe that if you try to take any of my rights away from me, I don't need a bowl of soup.